Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the new Army Men Fortress Arena built by yours truly from the Men of War Assault Squad 2 Army Men RTS mod. Each Army Men color will be getting a fort. And then, it's all out war. Simple enough, one winner left standing. Let's spawn in our Army Men nations. Alrighty then, ladies and gentlemen, we have four factions on the battlefield here: the blue, the tans, the greens, and the reds. Now, they all have the exact same number of troopers on the battlefield, though of course they have their respective weaponry as well as tanks. They each also have 5 heavy tanks available to them. The blues are sort of representative of the British from World War II, the reds are the Soviets, the greens are the Americans, and the tans are the Germans. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this battle. Comment down below who you guys are rooting for the W today, and let's get this thing going. Instant Gaming has literally saved me thousands of dollars from their deals. And if you're watching this video, I'm guessing you like Army Men. You can get the Army Men RTS for $1.07 on Instant Gaming. You can play the Men of War Assault Squad 2 Army Men mod for $3.23. Or the absolute classic Toy Soldiers for just $7. Let's not forget, you can also save crazy money on Xbox Game Pass, PlayStation Network cards, and Nintendo eShop credits. Trust me, Instant Gaming is extremely safe and my favorite place to buy cheap games. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and press start here. I think personally I'm going to be rooting for the Reds today. Last time around, the Blues ended up getting a triumphant W, but it was a very, very close battle between all of the different nations, as this is just using Men of War Assault Squad 2 weapons and armor and tanks, which is already balanced in the base game, and turning them into various colors, so it makes the balancing overall really, really nice. A very solid grenade there from the greens into the reds. If it had a little bit more oomph, it would have gotten a lot of kills on this rampart here, but I think, yeah, it's not going to really get any kills right there, as it was just a little too high up, stuck on the block wall. Now, each of these ramparts does have free roaming troopers beneath them, and I think the smartest thing to do in this battlefield would be to keep your troopers beneath the ramparts and just hiding out for as long as possible. Aggressive pushes in this battle will just result in aggressive losses, in my opinion. Over here, the Blues losing one of their Centurion tanks right off rip to one of these T-72s. There is another one right here. It looks like it might take a shot, and nice! That ends up blowing up the red tank right there, and more Blues continue to push through this way. One of the King Tigers for the tans taking out another blue tank over this way, but it looks like maybe this King Tiger and this King Tiger are already dead. The vehicles in this I don't expect to last through the whole thing, because all of the infantry also has an aggressive amount of anti-tank rifles, bazookas, Piats, etc. So they'll be able to take out any tanks, even if the tanks do kill each other. You know, if one tank is a dominant force on the battlefield and manages to absolutely wipe the floor with the other tank types on the battlefield, they're all the heaviest tanks, of course, that each faction has to offer. That doesn't mean they're going to be completely balanced with one another. Some could have better armor, some could have, you know, better weapons, and it just comes down to who has better positioning and things like that. But at the end of the day, a Piat shot or a bazooka shot to the side of one of them will end up killing it anyway. The Blues getting aggressive over here with the Reds right now, but they're also hiding a lot of their infantry down below. Not too many troopers kind of moving into no man's land out here. I think we'll start seeing this space occupied as the battle goes further and further on. Green tanks over here completely doofing. I don't know what they're up to. That is a crying shame right there, and I think they kind of killed some of their own green infantry right there. Yikes, not fantastico. The greens live in the shadows over here, as that's where the sun is, so they get the nice cool air of the camouflage shadow. That's beautiful. They'll be able to blend in with the shadows. They'll have an easier time cooling down from the shade. And meanwhile, everyone else has to deal with the glaring sun. Of course, that doesn't really have an effect on the battlefield, but in real life, it actually might. The King Tiger over here just free-firing machine guns all over the place. The green ramparts getting torn asunder by that. And then tan troopers over here also helping out. Bold! My man lost his helmet and revealed that he's got some real bad male pattern baldness right there. The blues over here have been subsequently firing into the tan side right here. And then I'm sure the reds are also firing into the blue side. Although it looks like the blues might have decimated more of the red troopers this time around. If the blues win again, we would have a real case going for them being one of the strongest armies in all of the Army Men armies. If they lose this time around, you know, I think it goes to show that they're pretty well balanced. But if we do have another blue victory here, that would be pretty crazy. This Centurion ends up dying after it rams through one of the red tanks right there. And I am sure it got killed by a bazooka shot from the reds over this way. We've also got red tanks coming through over this area. A little bit of a showdown. Who's going to get the shot off first? Oh, I don't even know if the reds were trying there. Holy tragedy, Batman. We still have a red tank back this way, though, so that's good. And this blue tank is just pile driving through all of this junk here. Wow. It's also worth noting that all of the Army Men infantry should have access to anti-tank grenades as well. So even if they don't have a bazooka, they'll be able to do something, and that is shown right here as an AT grenade. Blows this red tank to smithereens, taking with it a number of its own red infantry, but also killing a number of the green infantry that was kind of around this way as well. More greens file through, taking cover behind some of these pencil barricades here, but the reds have a very overwhelming presence over this way, utilizing their tank's body as cover for themselves, and that machine gun on top of the red tank blurting out some serious fire. So this is a very good situation for the reds over that way. Looks like this tan tank takes a nasty shot after it attempts to climb up the tower wall there. Interesting strategy, and it didn't really pay off, Cotton. Very sad. I think these two King Tigers are both dead, but these two are still alive. Not sure about these Centurions. Okay, this one is still alive. I think this one is dead for the blues. It is pretty impossible to tell who is actually winning on this battlefield right now, as it is very, very chaotic. We do have a few blues actually pushing out into the middle, as well as reds over in that corner there. More blue soldiers firing into the reds as they try coming in this way. We also have set them out to each have the best caliber of trooper, meaning each team gets their elite units. There are, in Men of War Assault Squad 2, elite units versus just standard units, and then there's also like the weak units, which are like the Home Guards, the Volkssturm, etc., etc. Everyone just has the most elite units on the battlefield. They also have the most elite vehicles of their nation on the battlefield, the heaviest of their tanks, so there is that as well. This is currently not going super well for the Reds, I think. They're trying to push back in each of their corners over here and over here. But right now, they're just meeting very elite resistance in those areas. That could be a huge grenade, though. The blues are not throwing it away. These guys don't even notice it's there. This could be devastating. This could really help out the Reds, and it does. That's like 5 kills right there. My goodness. Oh, I thought that guy was dying, but he just didn't. All right. The greens over here. I think if they take a bit more of a passive role right now, they'll be a little bit better off, to be completely honest with you. I don't think there are any remaining tanks except for this one for the Reds, right? Oh, no, this one's still alive over here, too. That's right. This is, again, too close to call anywhere. At the moment, everyone seems to be performing pretty expertly on the battlefield, evening things out nicely. The greens over here trying to push the tans at the moment, but the tans have a very solid arsenal of troopers still kind of back here. I don't think they'll make much headway over that way. Reds getting some grenades out, just trying to clear out some of these blues, I think, over here. It's worth a shot. It's worth a shot. I think pretty soon we'll be down to just infantry fighting each other. Why don't we go ahead and do our first time lapse over here, watching the blue wall for just a little bit, because they've been very active over here. Alright, just a small time lapse right there, and we start to see the greens pushing into the middle arena now. This could be very, very risky. Usually the first team to start to try and assert their dominance ends up losing because they just put themselves in a really awkward position of getting fired on at every single angle, and it's just not very nice. It's very bad. And I think that probably will happen here with the greens. They have wiped out this King Tiger here. There's still one over this way. That's an AT grenade. That could be big. Oh! It somehow went through the tank and blew up. It didn't kill it, though. Wow. That was weird. That was really, really weird. Okay. Hopefully another one of these guys has another AT grenade. There is a bazooka trooper right there, too. He's just not firing at this thing. That would have been nice. We still also have some tans back this way. So that's another problem, is that the tans could then start scooting over here and flanking the back of the greens over this way. I'm not entirely sure if this is alive, but... Oh, no, it's moving. Yeah, these are both alive. They're just kind of stacked weirdly on top of each other. They're derping a little bit there. So the greens are leaving themselves very susceptible to flanking now, which is not ideal in the slightest. What are you doing, bud? Does someone have an AT grenade, please, to take out this King Tiger? Let's see that. Let's make it happen. Reds over here, still kind of just defending at the moment. The blues, they were being a bit aggressive over this way, but now they're chilling a bit more too. The reds starting to come out of their home base over here and starting to push this fort area. I think all of the blue tanks over here are dead. Yeah, they all are dead here, so the blues might be completely out of tanks. Oh no, this one is still alive over this way. I think everyone still has a tank or two left, so I thought they would die pretty much instantly. That's not the case. Nice grenade going out right there. If it rolls nicely off of this... Oh no, it's going to land like perfectly. That was beautiful. This guy's going to try and rebound it. He can't pick it up. He tries again, and now... Oh god. Okay, he finally gets it. That might have saved his life. Hold on. Might have killed these other two, though. Let's see. Nope, that was actually a really good rebound. Right into the Jenga wall. Not bad, my boy. Now more reds are starting to pressure through this way. Why don't we go ahead and bump it up a speed here as the lag is now subsiding quite nicely. That's what we like to see, baby. Just some nice crossfire between these two. Nothing too major, no major losses going on. If the Reds do continue this push, though, they could get cooked. They need these guys to push alongside them, I think, or else the Blues will just be able to wipe them out over here, and that would be a tragedy. This Red tank begins an aggressive push forward. I'm guessing that King Tiger over that way must have died? Is she still alive? Hold on. We can check. She is still alive. She does have damage, but she's still alive. I'm surprised it's not targeting the red tank over here, though. That's interesting. Greens try and pressure. They go down. We do have an AT grenade. Throw it, buddy. Don't run. Just throw it. Just turn and throw it. What are you doing? Oh, my goodness. What are we doing here? And he's dead. Ripperoni. Holy cow. There's a lot of silly tomfoolery going on right now. It is not very nice. No, sir. Tan starting to push the Blues over here again. This could be big for the Blues because their defensive Centurion here could just rip through them, and it's got infantry to support against Panzerschrecks. That Tan soldier just shot his own vehicle by accident. I think he was going for the Greens over this way, and simultaneously, while the Tans are pushing the Blues over that way, the Greens start coming in the flank over this way. Oi, oi, oi! I am shocked this thing is still alive. There's so many green soldiers here. How do none of you have an AT grenade? Like, literally. Throw one, boys. And there's a bazooka trooper. Why aren't they targeting this King Tiger? It makes no sense. It genuinely makes no sense. Let's go peek over here again at the red assault. Red's actually coming through pretty nicely. They're doing a good job. Not too shabby at all. Way to go. I think the more interesting portion is over here, where a massive Panzerschreck shot comes through, kills a few greens. Somehow that trooper, though, standing alive. That's pretty shocking, not gonna lie. The blues could start pushing here too, and looks like they are going to. That's a smart move for sure. Well done, boyos. If they push a little more aggressively, they could wipe out the tans alongside the greens. Wow. What are we doing here, guys? What are we doing here? Looks like they did fire something into this and got a hit on the tan tank, but it's still up and running. Wow. Red's still trying to push through here. There's so much tank rubble, though, that it's quite hard. These guys have an AT grenade up on this wall. I think they could throw it far enough, but the fact that they're not throwing one makes me think those guys don't have any. Ay, ay, ay. This is just a tragedy everywhere right now. I don't even know who's winning, man. I feel like maybe the Reds are taking the advantage at the moment, but it's, again, it's just too close. Way too close to tell. Oh my goodness, what is happening over here? Let's go ahead and watch this for a little bit, because this is ridiculous. I really thought this thing would die during that time lapse. She's still up and running. Disgusting. Oh my goodness. Grenades going out though up here. That's not gonna do anything against those troopers, sadly. Let's go ahead and bump it up to full speed ahead. I think the lag has subsided enough. And actually, look at this! Green tank popping out. Very lucky. That red tank appears to be dead, I think. It is smoking. If it wasn't, that would be dangerous for this. Can it even come out here? The greens need to use this, or this, or this. Literally any other way they can get out of here but this area. But it might be able to kill the King Tiger from here. It might. I think it's got the angle. She's not doing it, though. She ain't doing it. Oy, oy, oy. What are we doing here, B? Is this thing still alive? Maybe? No idea. Red infantry. There's a lot of it, though. Still firing away. This thing annoys me. The fact that that's still alive. This Centurion's still just chilling. Just vibing. Having a good time. Ay, ay, ay. And the Reds, their push actually has kind of been rejected by the Blues. The Blues take control of the situation and start pushing back over here instead. And they've also got this top area here that's helping them out. That's good to see, but look at that, the green tank actually getting some really good fire, getting some kills too on the Blues over here. Not bad. Way to be. Green tank coming in clutch for the boys. All right, the greens up here though, they could stand their ground and get some kills. I don't know why they're not firing, maybe a hitbox issue. We're kind of in the grindy portion of the battle where everyone is still just fighting the good fight and trying to play it safe while simultaneously getting kills. You know, it's a bit of a tricky situation. Let's watch the Reds over here since we can see so much going on. Or sorry, the Blues over here since we can see so much going on with everyone else except for the Tans, but that's okay. The grind don't stop, baby. Blues here still fighting everywhere. Pretty much. The green tank here is just kind of chilling. Is this still alive is the question. It is tracked at the very least, so there's that. I think yeah, it's dead. Okay, excellent. Oh, blue Centurion coming out here. This could potentially combat the green tank right there. The Tans have no more tanks now. Tans are tankless. Greens still have 3, technically, but they have very little infantry. The Reds have 1, and the Blues have their 1. So Green's definitely winning in terms of tanks right now, but they don't have too much infantry to support said tanks. The Blues actually have a very decent amount of infantry all over. The Tans, they're pretty light on the infantry, I would say, actually. The Greens, again, very little infantry. The Reds, they have a decent amount. I will say the Blues, I feel, still have the best chance of a victory right now. And that's a problem. Red's trying to go up against the ramparts of the Greens over here for the first time in a while. They've been going for a ground attack mostly. Very good grenade. Guys, while they're retreating, go up there. There you go. There's one. No, he missed. Oh my god. Oh my god. Come on. Boys, what are we doing? What is happening? Oi. Look at that sniping going on against the Tans. Despite the Greens not having a ton of troopers, they are sniping out the Tans over this way and doing a good job against the Reds. So they're doing nicely, I will say. Why don't we do a nice overhead time lapse this time and just watch the magic, baby? We got a while to go, I think. Alright guys, a few more minutes there, and the Blues continue to push outward now. The Green presence in the middle has dwindled horribly. The Blues are kind of taking their place, I will say. Alright, now let's check in on the Reds, who still have their one tank. It is tracked, so that's why it's not moving. And small batch of infantry here, small batch of infantry over here. The Greens, they honestly aren't doing super hot. They don't have a ton of infantry left. They lost this tank, and then they've got these two tanks which are just derping, but they do have kills, weirdly. And then finally, the Tans over here only have infantry again. At least they have some, but they're going up against the Centurion, which is tracked. Okay, that's good-ish. But they're not really able to do anything about it, apparently. I don't know why not. They're numbnuts. It's looking like potentially another blue victory, so let's watch the blue tank over here, their strongest unit. We're still on that grind. The Blues kind of keep on waxing and waning, pushing soldiers out, then kind of retreating them back. The Reds have an ample opportunity here to slide in and shoot these guys down, especially on the ramparts. That'd be a good strat. But I think they're kind of nervous because their numbers are so low now. The AI probably doesn't even know what to do with them. Then we have the Greens, who are falling apart at the seams. These two tanks are great, but if they're stuck, they're stuck. And the rest of their infantry, I mean, they're giving it their all, but they're not going to be able to do much. Let's be honest here. Ay, ay, ay. The Tans might be wiped now, honestly. Wait, hold on. Blues, Reds, Greens. No, Tans do have a holdout back here. Oh, okay. They got a number of troopers back here, actually. Interesting. The Blues, they're definitely trying to alpha everyone else right now. They're doing power moves in the middle. We'll see if it pays off, but I mean, at the moment, it's still just kind of chill vibes. They're literally just dueling tanks now. That all I see is the tanks randomly spamming fire out and about. Might as well check the kill count. 19 kills, 1 tank kill for the Centurion. 4 our red tank, 2 tank kills, 9 infantry kills. Not bad. For the US, this one's got 3 kills and a tank kill. This one's got 9 kills. Alright, and that's all they're doing, is just spamming fire out. I'm still thinking probably going to be a blue victory. Maybe my Reds make the comeback happen. Let's see. Okay, so some serious time has passed. The Centurion repaired its tracks, and then immediately got stuck back this way. The Blues currently still have a nice holdout over here. The Reds have 3 soldiers over here. The Greens still have only a couple soldiers right now, and then those 2 tanks still. And then the Tans are still in this thing back here. So all of the nations are still currently in the game. They're still capable of fighting. They still have a chance to win. There goes a green soldier right there. However, they're obviously all dwindling quite a bit. Oh, there are the green tanks taking some shots at the Blues over this way. That could be the end of them pretty soon. You just never know. Now the blue Centurion. Oh, it's coming back out again. And it got itself stuck again. It just cannot seem to navigate. I mean, to be fair, there's a lot of obstructions on the battlefield. Makes it very, very, very hard for the tanks to maneuver. The Reds kind of scooting around there just a little bit, but not much. And then the Tans have probably the most infantry now, actually, I think. They've got... Wait, where'd the rest of them go? Oh, there's another there. There's 3. I thought they had a lot more than this. Hold on. Oh, they're back in this corner over here. Okay. Roger that. Well, I mean, I'm not going to mess with anything. We're going to keep this thing natural, but let's go ahead and bump it up to 5 speed here and see if we can't have ourselves a victor at some point here. And let's watch, because right now, everyone's just sort of vying for first place. There's no clear-cut winner yet, except the Blues are definitely a favorite, I would say. Big news, everyone! First of all, the Centurion's dead, which is crazy. Second of all, the 2 green tanks have freed themselves from each other. So there's now 2 green tanks on the loose. There's still a lot of Tans over here. There's still a decent number of Blues as well. And then just a couple Reds, according to the main map somewhere. Oh, I think it might just be that guy. Hold on. Yeah, just 1 Red right there. So that's where my hopes lie. The Greens might be making the greatest comeback of all time here. 3 Blues just kind of migrating around over there. And the Tans, of course. I think the Greens might have this in the bag. And that Red soldier retreated all the way back here. Oh! And the Green Trooper absolutely annihilates him. Oh, there's another Red. Oh, I see. Okay, those were 2 separate soldiers. Well, this Green Trooper just KO'd both of them. Now he's going into enemy territory. He's got 3 kills. But holy cow, he is diving deep. 2 Blues over this way, 1 over here. Right now he does have the advantage on them by pushing in. They don't know he's there. He gets a few shots on that trooper. That trooper runs off. He's reloading. Hold on. Hold on. He might be getting the kill here. Doesn't even have a helmet anymore. He's helmetless. Oh, and he gets his 4th kill right there. These 2 Blues still alive over this way. Absolutely brutal. Okay, well, he's walking away now. We still have these Tans over this way. So the Reds are officially out of it. My team is gone. The first team to go. 2 Blues, 1 green, and 2 green tanks, which is crazy. And then 3 Tan soldiers back this way. This Green Trooper is kind of a Giga Chad, skirmishing a little bit with the Tans, but not a lot happening. He needs to stay undercover, to be honest. This could still last quite a while. Why don't we bump it up to 5 speed again, because this is... Oh, wait, hold on. Green. He's tangling with the blue over that way. Both with short-range SMGs, so not great, but this MG Trooper could get the kill on him. Oh, he is just one-man armying this. The enemies are healing. He went back over this way, gets a Tan kill. Oh, 2 Tans left. 2 Tans, 2 greens. Or sorry, 2 Blues, 1 green, and 2 green tanks. The 2 green tanks, though, that's the big one. Wait, did he just die? Oh no, he's right there. He's chilling. That's the problem with fast motion, but otherwise this battle goes so slow. He is just roaming. There we go. He gets a heal in. I'm now officially rooting for the greens. Now that the reds are dead, I'm going to root for the greens because this is a crazy comeback story. He's just walking away. What would be ideal for him is if the blues and the tans ended up fighting each other. But I'm not sure that's going to happen. Mass migration here. He's returned back to the tanks. Oy, oy, oy. Brutal. So we're kind of back into the stalemate of all the different enemies just roaming around. I want this to occur naturally as possible, so let's time lapse, I guess. All right, a few moments later, and we're still grinding, basically. We've got one tan left, two blues. One's here, and then one is over here. And then the two green tanks who are just kind of trapped in here. I think the green soldier did end up dying. The green tanks are just kind of trapped over here. Let's just watch them till the end, because, I mean, it's just a grind. That's all it is now. Alright guys, the tans did die, but the blues are just chilling there, and the greens also just chilling there because I don't think they can leave. So let's go ahead and open this field up. I think it's time to interfere. Boom, baby! Let's see if these green tanks take the W or if the two blues do. The blues are literally just running away. The greens aren't doing anything. Oh my god. Ah! These arena battles always have the derpiest endings ever. Go chase them. It's obvious the greens are gonna win. There you go. Alright. The greens get the W, my poor reds come in last place, and the blues almost secure the victory, but no dice. Well guys, that's going to be about it for today's video. Please be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and comment down below. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace! I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Be sure to click that subscribe button for more content, and hit the notification bell if you'd like to be alerted to whenever I live stream or upload. Thanks so much.